It is time for Players Only here on a victorious Bears postgame show, beating the Packers tonight 22-16. I'm Adam Hogue. Got Jerry Azumah to my right, Corey Wootton, Lance Briggs to my left. And the thing, because I heard you guys had a kind of a debate about this. I don't know if you guys noticed, I had to move to the other side. I just didn't. It wasn't your fault at all.
Yep.
It was just the game's fault. I just felt like I had to make a change and get out of the way. And then, I don't know, everything changed. Anyway, I heard you guys were having a debate about overtime. We were too. What did you think about Ben's decision to kick the extra point, not go for two?
And Ben, we must trust. That's always that's what happens. That's what happens, fellas. Listen. All right. It doesn't matter if I don't like a call. Okay. The call is the call. The call is the call. The standard is the standard. And when Ben speaks, you listen.
Stop it. You should have went for two. Point blank. Period. That's what he does. Go for two.
No. That's what Dan Campbell does. That's what Dan Campbell does.
Yeah.
That is you're guilty by association. So what Dan Campbell always goes on fourth, always
conversion and won the game.
We probably would have if Ben decided, but Ben didn't decide.
So I'm going to tell you this: if they were playing against Jordan Love, I'm 100% on board to go for two. Mm-hmm. Jordan Love is a great quarterback. You know what he can do offensively, but Malik Willis, you feel better going against him in a tough situation just because he doesn't have that experience. So that's why I thought they go for one. They take it to overtime. Mm-hmm. You have the edge at this point. You got the momentum going in your favor, don't you think?
I think that team from up north they have Le Fleur. Which is English for the floor. Okay, and we have Ben Johnson. Okay, it's different. It's just different.
Yeah, my thinking, guys, in the moment was just. I guess I was with Wood. I liked the decision a couple weeks ago. It sounded like they were going to go for two if the interception didn't happen. In this moment, I'm like, if you get another 10 minutes, you're telling me you can't beat this team without Micah Parsons and without Jordan Love. If you have another, why have it come down to one play? So I was okay with the decision to kick it there. I think it would have been different, like it was 2 weeks ago when those guys were healthy. I was okay going for two. This time I was totally fine kicking it.
I think
it worked out.
I think early on when they decided to go to fourth down and do that little trickery stuff and it didn't go well, that probably turned them off to like, you know what, maybe we should just kick the ball and just take it into extra time. But I still would have.
The low like
low
for Cole, high for
head.
6'5",
very unique.
5'5".
It was very different. But I think that's what changed everything for him.
I think that was the biggest play of this game. Mm-hmm. Because the way that first drive was, they were mixing and matching the run and the pass. Caleb, hitting receivers, the running game, everything's going down, and you got 4th and 1. The way you've been running the ball, you're like, why get all cute and do that crazy play when you could just run downhill, get 3 tight ends in there? And I honestly think if they would have scored on that first drive, and then maybe they got to stop, just the momentum that they would have had, I think it just killed a lot of their momentum
the flow of the game.
Well, I think some of the confidence for Ben comes from, someone was able to put on a play that he did similar in Detroit. It was like, hell, it worked when we did it in Detroit. I think we're as talented now. It should work here. It didn't work, and I think you are right, Zoom. I think after that, I think he said, listen, there's a situation that is going to arise in this game that if I'm going to run this trick play, it's here.
Right.
We're running it. All right. It didn't work. All right. I got a little outside myself. Let me get back to what I know to do best.
Right. And what they do best is run the football.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if they would have ran the football there, I wouldn't have even been mad.
So talking about running the football, I look at the stat sheet, and Monangai and Swift had 22 total carries. They both average over 5 a pop combined.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand why they didn't make a bigger effort because the game was still tight.
Absolutely.
It was 16-6. It was even tighter at different times. I just didn't understand why they kind of abandoned the run game at time when they had such great success with it.
I mean, I'm with you on that 1,000%. I mean, they need to run the ball. That's their bread and butter. Get a hat on a hat and run right at them, attack them. They did, like when they came out in the first quarter, the first drive actually, they went 90 yards. Like they came out and they attacked them right away. And I was like, okay, this actually feels good. I think that they're going to stay consistent with the run, dink and dunk down the football field, and then make plays. But running the ball is where they need to be. That's what they do best.
Exactly. And you talked about getting the tight ends involved, and that's when they started moving the football offensively. When they were doing some of those out cuts across the middle, it kind of softens the defense up a little bit, and I think that gave them some momentum.
Look,
for
these
those
tight
drives.
ends are big targets. They're big, they're strong, they're athletic, they're physical, and they help Caleb out. You know what I mean? Whenever you need a first down or a big-time catch or a big-time possession, throw the ball to the tight end. You know, because right away it's a mismatch. They're usually on a linebacker or a safety, and you could just body people up and just throw it right on them.
There are some ways that we haven't yet seen them use tight ends yet. You know, and when I'm saying that, I'm talking about catch the ball, boom. You know the matchup. Throw a jump ball right now. You know, and this is down the middle. Attack too high down the middle of the field.
Down the middle of the football field.
Let them go up and get it. You know, the push off button hook, push off in space. It always works. You know, it always works, and referees never call it.
Exactly.
They still have. We haven't seen that, and I know that's something that can be in any offensive coordinator's pocket.
And so as a defender, when you were going against some of the league's best tight ends, was that a tough matchup, like some of these guys that are 6'5", they can run like gazelles? Talk about how that is matching up against guys like a Loveland.
I'll talk about Jimmy Graham or Jermichael Finley, who played for the Packers. You know, they were really good. I mean, Jimmy Graham was a great jump ball guy. And Drew Brees trusted him. So if there were any pressure, if there was anything going on, he would just throw it up. He'd throw it up, and the percentage of Jimmy Graham going up and getting it was extremely high.
Basketball player.
Yeah, extremely high, you know. And Jermichael was a back shoulder fade guy. You know, he'd get on the edge, and Aaron would just throw it to him. You know, he'd throw it to him. He'd either throw it up or he'd throw a back shoulder fade. Or, you know, in short yardage situations, or if we got to near the end zone, Jimmy would push off, turn around, and the ball's already there.
Right there.
As soon as he turns around, the ball's right in that pocket. So there's unique ways you can use the tight ends.
And on the defensive side, I was going to say about just some of the run gap issues. That's something we were talking about during the game, especially up front, right, with the front seven. At times, defensive linemen out of their gaps, Brady Jarrett, Jervon Dexter, you know, not in the right gap. They're gashing runs, and sometimes linebackers hitting the hole.
Not coming downhill.
Right.
Now, I will say, one thing I'll say, I thought Tremaine actually did a decent job of coming downhill against the run. There were times where it looked like he might even been a blitz called. I did not like the way TJ moved against the run today. I don't think he attacked the line of scrimmage, and because of that, he was scraping down the line. And when the ball was being tackled, he was about 3 or 4 yards away. And of course, exactly what you were saying. You know, the D line. I think D line struggled a bit against the run, but it was a combination of them and the linebackers.
Yep. When I look at the defensive line, so in an attacking style defense, it really does not matter if you get reach as long as you penetrate. Correct. I think the times that they're getting reach, they're peekabooing and trying to go this way. Whatever you're going to do, get off the ball fast, attack the line of scrimmage, and you'll fit off. Like the linebacker will fit off them. As long as you're being decisive about what you're doing, you're causing penetration, you're causing that ball carry to either cut back or stretch it out. You're going to affect the play.
There's a lot of peekabooing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of peekaboo. You know? I saw Tremaine over there peeking in this hole, in this gap right here, and somebody getting into the outside gap. You know, you got to be strong within your gap. You have to be gap sound. And the B gap sound means, listen, I have to trust that when I get into this gap, I'm gonna own this gap because the guy next to me is gonna do his job.
Correct.
But you can't try to do your job and his job, because when you do that, you screw it up for everybody else.
Yeah, it's all about being physical, but also there's physicality situations that happen on the outside as well. I felt like the receivers, it was routes on air sometimes. Like they were in zone coverage and they let these receivers get off the ball and just get right into the right coverage, and it was just routes on air. It's like, yo, go up there and challenge these guys. Like, be physical with these guys. Get your hands on these guys, reroute these guys, and throw the timing off a little bit. You know that you have trouble with the defensive line getting to the quarterback. So you have to help yourself out by getting your hands on these guys, on these wide receivers.
So, Zoom, you think it's more of the scheme or them just being afraid of getting beaten deep?
I mean, you have to play the scheme, but at the same time, like, you could play the scheme and be physical at the same time.
Exactly.
They did take the ball away, and what they did do that was impressive defensively is they stood tall in the red zone many a times, and because of that, because of what they did defensively, it gave the Bears a real chance to go into overtime, the real chance to win the game. Because if they were to fold and allow those 3 points to become 6 or 7, we're not talking. Everybody's disappointed again in Chicago.
Exactly. But a lot of times too, like you see this team and they're having confidence in themselves. Especially in the fourth quarter. Last year was a whole totally different situation. We were like, wait a minute, we don't know. Like this team is not going to win. We just already know that. But now, even though they were down by like 10 points, I want to say, or something like that, we knew that all they had to do was just get a stop, get the ball back into Caleb's hands. Yep. They'll make some things happen, and then plays will naturally start to happen. Exactly. And that's what they did.
Great stuff from all of you guys. And if you're watching and you're like, yeah, that is great stuff, I got good news for you, because if you hit that subscribe button, you get Brick by Brick after show right after this show is done. We're not done with you here, but as soon as we are, our coverage goes through the night. We got Brick by Brick after show coming up. And Lance Briggs is going to join us on Monday's show of CHGO Bears as well. So you always get Briggs on Mondays. So make sure you hit subscribe. Hit that like button for these guys. Our players only segment. Good stuff as always.